Hello everyone and welcome back to our month-long emergency series. Today is day 29, Mayday 29, only 3 days left. And today we were talking about mid-air collisions. So if we look at when mid-air collisions happen, right, these are some of the common themes that we see. Well, as you can imagine, mid-air collisions are most likely to happen when most people are actually out flying, right? So most mid-air collisions occur during daylight hours, on weekends, in VFR conditions, at or near uncontrolled airports, and at or below 1,000 feet AGL. So pretty much on nice weekend days in the area of uncontrolled fields. Now when we think of a mid-air collision, we think of, oh boy, two aircraft coming together, colliding in the air, and it's over. However, the fatality rate for mid-air, it's only like 50%. Now I say only, right? Yes, 50% is high. No one wants those odds. But when you think about like VFR to IMC accidents, then involving spatial disorientation and loss of control, that's almost a 90% fatality rate. So it really puts into perspective how dangerous scud running can be. So if you are involved in midair, obviously you want to land at the closest airport, assuming you still have some control over the aircraft, right? Fly the plane with what controllability you have left. Don't give up, fly the plane to the ground. So how can we avoid them? So let's think back to how they occur, right? Day VFR, likely the weekend, close proximity to uncontrolled fields. So if that sounds like your flight profile, then you need to be extra focused, right? Even before you go flying, make sure you have a clean windshield. This will give you, the greatest visibility possible. Before takeoff, write down any frequencies that you need on your knee board, right? Set up the radios. This way you can spend extra time looking outside instead of being distracted at your avionics or your iPad, right? Have your passengers help scan for traffic. Listen to the CTAF, right, from at least 10 miles out to get a mental picture of what's going on at the airport. Who's in the pattern, who's doing touch and goes, who's on approach, coming from a different area, right? Look outside to see who's in the pattern and who's not talking on the radio. And if there's any ambiguity about who's doing what or who is where, right, throw out that professional radio talk and just get out and have a quick conversation with them on the radio and to have a discussion to clear up any doubts that you have, right? Example, hey, aircraft doing a straight in, I'm turning base. Do you see me? How far out are you? Do I have room or should I go around, right? These types of conversations can be critical to keep your aircraft metal from being bent. So those are some tips and best practices. Even though I talked a lot of this video about uncontrolled fields, mid-airs can happen anywhere, right? Towered airports, en route, so you can never let your guard down. You need to stay alert, you need to be diligent in your scanning and your flying. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Hope to see you tomorrow. Fly safe, keep that scan up.